Hello, I'm Dr. Craig Seifer, and I want to welcome you back to Mindset Training Injury Recovery Mindset. Today, we're going to continue to talk about the issues around anxiety that can rise up as we get ready to return to performance and competition. So, today, we're really going to think about understanding this a little bit more, but also giving you the tools that you need to be able to manage your energy. And really, this is an issue of energy management. How can we better regulate our energy levels in a way that help us to stay at an optimal level, stay focused, locked in, and be ready to do what you need to do, but also so that we don't get too revved up, too hyped up in a way that's unhelpful for us. So as we think about the mental impact of long-term injury, as we mentioned before in our last meeting, there's the mood issues that come early on, that those start to improve, but then we get this spike in terms of anxiety, doubt, worry, concern that can happen as we return to competition and performance. And so we might be thinking, am I ready? Is my body ready? What will it be like? And can I return to the form that I was at before? And these are a very normal part of getting back into competition after getting into injury. And understanding this is key. So last time we spoke a little bit about the alarm bell, the amygdala, and how the sympathetic nervous response that we get with the amygdala really impacts our sense of, kind of fear, worry, danger that comes with injury. And as we talked about, this old system, going back to when we were cave people living in caves, was really about protecting us and helping us focus on very immediate threats in our environment. It could be a bear, it could be a wolf, those kind of things. But this system doesn't really work well for some of the issues and stresses that we have today. And so it can affect our decision making. It can affect physically our balance, coordination, muscle memory, and even the way that we communicate within our brain. Another way to look at this is to understand the difference between our energy level and performance. And so a lot of times I talk about how we can have different zones of performance. So if we think about this graph having our performance level from low to high on one axis, and then our energy level from its lowest to its highest. As we see here, it's not just about the higher energy level we have, the better. If we have low energy, our performance can be low. We might be tired or sluggish, distracted in some way. But we start getting into an optimal level of energy, green zone, where we're locked in, we're focused, we're really feeling ready and successful. And then our energy level can get too high, and that can go in a lot of different directions. But particularly when dealing with coming out of coming out of an injury, returning back to competition and performance, this red zone energy can be a problem. So it might look like a lot of different things. This extreme energy can result in feeling tight or tense, feeling like we're pressing or gripping, we're forcing things, trying to make things happen instead of just letting the flow of your sport or your activity take you forward. We could also feel frustrated or angry. We could feel anxious, overwhelmed. We could feel too hyped up, right? Just like there's just too much energy going on. Or also the dreaded in my head, right? We're so focused on our thoughts, so focused on the thoughts that are going through our mind that we're not keeping pace of play in terms of where we need to be on the field, on the court. So one thing that's really important within these situations, as we mentioned last time, is the idea of being body first. How do we calm and regulate ourselves physically? Because as we said, we're not thinking clearly, right? Our planning judgment is out the window. We feel physically off. We don't feel like ourselves. And even our speech centers of our brain that we would normally use to communicate with teammates, with friends, with loved ones, those aren't working either. And so if we can kind of get back in tune with our body, if we can settle that heart rate down, loosen, relax our muscles, and be able to just kind of get back to a place where we're in control of our breathing, then we can better be ready to be focused, be in the present, and perform. One thing to start with, right, that's very core is our breathing. And so not just about breathing in general, but about breathing for performance. And so a lot of times, we've been told numerous times that if we take a deep breath, that's going to help us feel better. But what I would say is that it's not just about the depth of that breath or taking a deep breath. It's about really focusing on our breath and slowing that breathing down. Because breathing does some amazing things, right? But we really have to be focused on it. So breathing can kind of help slow us down, settle down that system. Breathing can also help get oxygen to the brain so we can think more clearly. And at its heart, if we really focus on our breathing, it can help us to get back into the present, out of our head, out of our focus in other ways, back to where we need to be. So I want to take some time first for this first, performance breathing exercise. And I want you to do it with me. I'll demonstrate it. And then as we get talking, we'll talk about how to apply those in terms of the workbook that you have for this program. So as we take a step back, right, we can have you close your eyes right now and just take some time to notice your body and notice what's going on. Notice the tension through your muscles, feet up to legs, up through your torso, neck, shoulders. And we're going to dial into our breath. And then we're going to do 3 breaths where we breathe in slowly for 5 seconds and out slower for 6 seconds. And why 6? Basically, because it's a reminder to help us focus on really extending that exhale, which is what's going to help us to calm down, settle down, get back into our body. Ready? I want you to breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Notice how you're feeling. Breathing more under control, muscles more loose and relaxed, heart rate settling down. This is where we need you to kind of get out of that anxiety, out of that stress, back to where you need to be for performance. Now, there are other techniques that I also want to teach you today. So there's another approach called square breathing or box breathing. And so this could be helpful for those of you who are really visual, being able to visualize a square, a box in your brain, right? And being able to kind of focus on those. And so this is in a series of 4s as we go around the square. So we'll go in for 4 seconds, breathing in slowly, holding it for 4 seconds, out for 4 seconds, and then holding for 4 seconds. Again, all an attempt to get you focused on the present, settling your breathing down. All right. So again, let's close our eyes, get settled, loose, and relaxed. And I want you to breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Notice how you're feeling, breathing more into control, muscles loose and relaxed, heart rate settling down. Let's try that one more time. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So those are 2 breathing exercises that we can do to kind of help settle ourselves down, get back into our bodies, out of our heads. So on our energy regulation worksheets that we'll have, that as part of your workbook right now, we're going to be talking about awareness, talking about breathing and how you can continue to put this in as part of your skills getting you ready. But there's one more that I wanted to share with you, right? And this is progressive muscle relaxation. So the idea behind this is that as our tension builds up, as we get in our heads, get tight, get stressed, get anxious, we're actually slowly and steadily, our body's getting more tight and tense. And you may be feeling that, you may not, right? But we may be feeling it in our shoulders, right? Or in our legs, maybe feeling it in our chest, feeling like our throat's tighter, those kind of things. And so what we can do is actually, if we over tense or hyper tense up those muscles, it can help them to go back to being loose and relaxed. So we're going to do this PMR for short, progressive muscle relaxation. And the idea behind this is that we're going to squeeze or tighten our muscles for 5 seconds. We're going to release and have a cue word that we say to ourselves. Could be relax, could be ready. And we have a series of muscle groups that we're going to go through. And I'm going to take you through that right now, right? So I want to start out with your hands. You take your hands, get them as tight into fist, as tight as you can for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. Shake them out. Next, we're going to do our forearms. So with this one, kind of pull those hands back so that they're really, really tight. Those forearms nice and tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Next step, we'll do our biceps. Tight, tight, tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Next, our neck and shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Next, we're going to interlock our fingers, stretch way up over our heads, tightening up those shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. The next one can feel uncomfortable, but it's just you and me right now, right? So we can do our face and jaw, tightening up our jaw. Tight, tight, tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Next, we'll do our upper backs. We'll stretch our elbows behind us. Really, really tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Next, we're going to tighten up our abs. So tighten up those stomach muscles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Next, we can press our feet into the ground to kind of tighten up our quads and really activate our quads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next, I want you to go on your tiptoes, tightening up those calf muscles. Tight, tight, tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Next, you're going to tighten up your feet and toes. Tight, tight, tight. Squeeze those tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last one, our whole body all at once. Let's tighten up, squeeze in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And relax. So after doing that, really notice how you feel. Muscles hopefully loose and relaxed, but also energized. Not so tired or set out that you wouldn't be ready to go out for a workout or out onto the field of play. The other part is that you're settling down our heart rate, getting in control of our breathing as well. So now there may be times when you can do this full PMR, right? Doing all the muscle groups. And usually those are times when you have the time and space to do it. Maybe at home, in a comfy chair, in your room, those kind of things. But there may be times when, trying to do it live, you may not be super comfortable with doing all of these muscle groups. It might draw some attention to yourself. So sometimes just choosing 2 to 3 muscle groups in what I call our live PMR can be helpful. Is it just your hands, right? Or just your legs and your calf muscles? Picking 2 to 3 muscle groups that really work for you and things that you can do, in public, in a situation where you might be at a practice or ready to compete. So thinking about that, where do you notice and what do you feel comfortable doing in public? And that can be your live PMR, just 2 to 3 muscle groups, maybe just our hands, just our calves, in ways that can kind of help us to kind of stay loose, stay relaxed, get into our body and out of our heads. So if we think about your Kintsugi Golden Repair goals for this week, I want you to continue to think about building this self-awareness and understanding. This process of maybe feeling more anxious, feeling more tight, feeling more overwhelmed at times is a normal part of you returning through, what has kind of shaken your alarm bell system to the core. And so recognizing where am I at, what do I need is going to be really important. Your next goal is also to develop the mindset skills that work for you. whether that's going to be our performance breathing, our box breathing, box or square breathing, or our progressive muscle relaxation. Taking time in the next week to try those out, get in good practice, and be ready to utilize them when you need to. Just like a skill within your sport. You need to put in the time for practice, and then there's time where you need to compete that skill. And we want you to think about that right now. What are the skills here that you need to practice? And then what would it look like in terms of putting it into action as you return? Thank you once again. I'm Dr. Craig Seifer, sports psychologist for UR Medicine Fitness Science. Here's my contact information if you have any questions or comments, and look forward to taking the next step with you.